Recently, one such message came to me where somebody had spoken about how he is going through the साधना पदा process. उसको कुछ करने का मन नहीं कर रहा, साधना वो कर नहीं पा रहा ठीक से, सेवा करने का मन नहीं कर रहा और बहुत सारी चीज़ें उन्होंने मैसेज में जिक्र किया था, which I felt like कि these are the things that द सिमिलर टू द प्रीवियस सिचुएशन, जैसे कि प्रीवियस वीडियो में मैंने कह रखा था ऑलरेडी, जहाँ पे लोग वेरियस चीज़ में अपने बोल रहे थे कि आई एम नॉट हैविंग गुड एक्सपीरियंस विद साधना पदा इन साधना पदा. तो सिमिलर थिंग हैपनिंग विद दिस पर्सन एज वेल. ही इज़ नॉट हैविंग गुड एक्सपीरियंस विद साधना पदा, बट डिफरेंस इसमें सिर्फ यही है कि इन द सेकेंड केस दिस पर्सन इज़ एक्सेप्टिंग द फैक्ट दैट इट इज़ नॉट अबाउट द सिचुएशन, इट इज़ अबाउट मी. सो व्हेन यू आर एक्सेप्टिंग सिचुएशंस that the problem not the situation but it is me, I am who is the situation, I am who is the problem over here. So in this context what essentially happening is you are accepting your vulnerability. So you know that it is me. Now in this context, if it is possible, then it's best that you get help and support from the Sadhanapada team or some other source, because this is when you need exactly support. And they also since the beginning might have talked to you. जैसे भी वो बात करते हैं वो हमेशा ये कहते रहते हैं कि कुछ भी हो हमें बताना, हम सपोर्ट करेंगे आपको, because this process is such that a lot of things will come out within you जो कि आपको अकेले हैंडल करने में शायद डिफ़िकल्टी हो सकती है. So in that context, it could be difficult for you to handle all these things alone. So in that context, it is best that if you seek support from somebody else. But I still feel little different about it, because within myself, definitely Sadhanapada team keeps on talking about they want to help you, but at certain situation, I don't feel they are reliable on it. Not the entire team, I would say, but it also happened to me that once I got to meet them and I was vulnerable in that situation, and the way they actually approached me, it was bad and I did not like that at all. So once it happened that I went late to the monthly meeting, and it was not intentional, it just happened to me. I never went late to any other meeting before. This is the first time that was happening to me, and I went late. And that is the exact moment when I needed support. But they said something that I did not like. The way they portrayed it as if I wasted the entire sadhana pada of me. So that made me feel bad about it, and I just could not handle that emotion within myself, and I cried in that situation. So I was standing on the staircase just right outside of the sadhana hall, and I was crying. And then the one Anna tried to came up to me and tried to console me or say something, but I was not in the state of listening to him anymore, so I went back to my room and I did not attend that session. So that's how it went, and the next day I attended the entire program, and then that's how the program ended. But a few days later they called me back again, and then the first question they asked me, why did not you do this? And that was the moment where I lost all of it. Any faith I had on them about whether they will understand or not, I lost all of it, because the questions that they started asking were coming from certain prejudice. Thus, they believed in certain things, and from that only those questions were coming. They believed the fact that I should not have went from there, I should not have gone from that place. I should have waited and I should have talked to them. This is what they were expecting, and since I did not do that, from there all these questions were coming. But the fact was, I was there and I did talk to them once, but the answer that they gave in the beginning was such that I could not wait there and talk to them any longer. So that is what within myself. But when they asked me why did not do this for the very first time, I just felt like, my God, how am I going to answer these questions? See, I am right now sitting here. I might have an answer that why am I sitting here, because this is upper third of the frame. That's why I am sitting here. So I might have an answer why am I doing something, but how can I have an answer to the question that why am I not doing anything? Why am I not sitting there or there or there somewhere else? I'm sitting here. Why I'm sitting here? That is also mostly we do unconsciously. जो भी हम काम करते हैं, mostly we are unconsciously doing things. And sometimes we might have answer to the questions, why am I doing something? But mostly you will never have answer that why you are not doing something. Because what we are doing is this much we are not doing is outside of this thing. How can you answer to that question? So from that on, in that moment, I started crying again because I knew that I'm not going to, get a fair chance to, put myself out there. So, it just happened that I started crying again in that one-on-one interview that happened. Actually, not one-on-one, there were two of them, and I was there also. So I started crying around a minute or two. I have cried, and then I started accepting everything that they said. I understood that from where all these things were coming, all the allegations, not allegations, all the things that they accused me with. I could understand that from where they are coming, and I used to go one step ahead of them, and then I used to accept it. They used to say, okay, you should not have done that. I said, yes, I should not have done that. All I wanted to do is get out of that situation. So instead of trying to defend in that situation, I just accepted. So they kept on telling about so many things, and I just wanted to just get out of that situation. I just kept on listening to all these things with a certain sense of patience within myself, and everything that they used to speak, I used to pick up one line that felt like a punchline. So towards the end of their speech, I used to say, okay, these things I should have done and I should do from here onwards. So that's how I managed to escape from that situation. But that situation, could not escape from me for a long period of time, because I felt like I could not get a chance to defend. And even if I tried to defend, it would have stretched more. And since they were in the authority space, they would not look into themselves. The fact that I accused them of being prejudiced is that since the beginning only they thought it's something that I should change. It could have been better if they would have seen that there could be a scope for improvement for themselves as well, and that is what they did not see in that situation. So that is why I felt like there is I did not have at least a good experience with them in an interview where I needed support, because it was the first time that was happening, and it just happened by mistake, and it was my mistake, and I accepted that fault. But beyond that, the support I was expecting, this was not the support that they gave to me. So in similar context, if you also approach them when you are vulnerable, then probably I do not think you are going to get the best support from the Sadhanapada team itself, because what you call a Sadhanapada team, I do not know whether they are trained properly or not. There are Isangas, I know, but the person I was talking to was, I think she is a hot yoga teacher or Isanga maybe. But the way she talked to me, and towards the end she just, how would I say, smashed the energy tools on my face. Same thing happened to me later once, that where I lost my shit and I shouted at somebody, and it was completely my fault. I also had defense in the second situation as well, where I shouted on somebody, but this time I got to meet one brahmachari, and when I talked to the brahmachari, it was completely different. I thought that it is going to be same, the brahmachari is not going to listen to me. But with brahmachari, the entire conversation was different, because when I talked to the brahmachari, I could open up myself, because he was not coming with certain prejudice. He read all these things that happened to me in the past, but he just let me flow first. So I just went ahead and I spoke everything that was there inside my heart. So I could speak anything in front of him. So I just spoke. I just laid down myself completely in front of him, and then he suggested me a few things, and then he actually used the inner engineering tool, asked me to use those inner engineering tools, and that is when I felt really glad, the way he approached and the way he handled the entire situation. The first time where I felt that I was not wrong, but still the way they handled was terrible. But this time I did some mistake, but the way brahmachari handled was, I felt really glad and inspired. So these are the completely different situations, and over the time I understood one thing is that this is the external aspect of what we are trying to do and how we are trying to solve all this situation when we are feeling bad within ourselves. So during these two examples, all I wanted to give you a kind of context that what can happen and how you can prepare yourself with it as well. When you are feeling vulnerable, so you may approach to Sadhanapada team as well, so that they can support you, but you may not get the similar support. But if you can manage to talk to one brahmachari, then probably they can give you much better support than other Sadhanapada team, because Sadhanapada team is just similar people like just you and me, and they are just Purnanga, 1 more or 2 years older than you, or maybe 5, 6 or 10 years or 15 years, 16 years older than you, but they are also struggling with similar situation that you and me are struggling with. So I think expecting anything from them is not justifiable, and also on top of that they are also going through so many things. They are also getting excuses from similar Sadhanapada participants who are just not doing their sadhana and doing all these things. So various kinds of excuses just make them frustrated. Sometimes they also get involved, and since they are being accountable for Sadhanapada transformation, सो दे समटाइम ऐसा होता ही है कि वो अपने अंदर ले लेते हैं चीज़ें, और वो कुछ ऐसे बोल देते जो आपको पसंद नहीं होगा, बट इंटेंशनली वो ऐसा आपको बोलना नहीं चाहते. दे ऑल्सो वांट टू सपोर्ट यू, बट उनसे भी बहुत सारी चीज़ें नहीं हो पाती. सो दिस इज़ व्हाट वी हैव टू आई थिंक एक्सेप्ट दैट दे आर ऑल्सो ह्यूमन. दे माइट बी ऑल्सो डूइंग सर्टन थिंग्स दैट यू माइट नॉट लाइक. सो दैट इज़ व्हाट द ह्यूमन फ्रिक्शन इज़ ऑल अबाउट, दैट आई वॉज टॉकिंग अबाउट यस्टरडे. जो भी रिलेशनशिप में फ्रिक्शंस आती हैं, कुछ आधा अधूरा कम्युनिकेशन के वजह से आती है. But when I talked to one brahmachari, so that thing was completely different for me. So if you are feeling vulnerable and you want to get outside support, then ask Sadhanapada team to get a meeting or schedule a meeting with a brahmachari. So that is the best thing that you can do, as far as I could understand, or as far as you could understand कि कैसे इस चीज़ को handle करना चाहिए. But when it comes to an internal aspect, how you should be within yourself, or if you want my own perspective towards it, then I would say first thing is do not skip your sadhana. साधना कभी मत छोड़ना कि मेरे साथ ये हो रहा है वो हो रहा है मैं साधना नहीं कर पा रहा. दिस इज बुलशिट. प्लीज नॉट डू दैट. वट एवर इज हैपनिंग, प्लीज सिट ऑन वज्रासना एंड स्टार्ट डूइंग chanting and then you go on towards the Sakchala Kriya. If you feel like doing nothing, sit and start doing Sukha Kriya and then Om chanting, and then do the complete process of Sambhavya Mahamudra Kriya. These are the two things that you must keep doing it irrespective of what happens to you. If you feel good, bad, ugly, nasty, whatever is happening within you, anxiety, depression, whatever is going on the bullshit, you just do not focus on that. Sit on Vajrasana, start doing Shakti Chalana Kriya, let all these things happen within yourself, whatever is happening. This is one aspect of it. Because if you are not doing on sadhana only, no, then that's maybe probably the reason because of which all these things are happening to you. If you keep on doing sadhana consciously, constantly, then all these things, you just get over them so quickly that it is just unimaginable. It is unbelievable at certain period of time. So sadhana is something that you should not escape from, or you should not leave. Sadhana is something that should happen. It should happen. There is no other alternative to it. That's one thing that you should make sure, irrespective of what is happening to you, irrespective of how you are feeling, irrespective of the thoughts are going on, not irrespective of feeling anxiety, sadhana must go on. Second thing is that even if you are not doing sadhana and all these things are coming to your mind, what I do within myself is I be conscious towards all these thoughts that is coming to me. I know this is the situation that I am creating within myself. Right now everything in the world is as it is, the way it's supposed to be, that is how it is. So in this context, what I do is I be conscious of these situations, and that is what I just try to be. Because when I am being conscious, I do feel the pain, immense pain within myself, but there is no more suffering to it. I do not feel anxious, I do not feel restless. I feel stable even if I am feeling a lot of pain within myself. That sense of suffering that goes away. I also try this with ant hills also. Sometimes I put my feet on the ant hills and I let the ants to bite. They bite crazy hard. But once they bite twice, but they bite thrice, and post that they do not bite. there is something I do just to build the strength within myself, that how am I approaching this situation, how am I approaching the pain, because the pain that is happening is something that I am actually creating within myself. All that is happening is a sensation. But when it comes to the mental pain also, these are the thoughts that's only going on. There is no physical pain that is happening. So this is my way of tackling all these things, to become conscious about it, because when I become conscious, I at least do not suffer the pain, but I do experience the pain till a certain extent, and that is how I defend my vulnerability. But one thing I would say, if all these things are happening to you, if you are feeling vulnerable in a lot of different situations, it is the best, because that is how the program is designed. If you are not feeling uncomfortable and feeling lots, if you are feeling settled, then probably you are not in the right place. If you are feeling uncomfortable and things are stretching you till a certain extent that you feel like you are not being able to handle it, then that's the right place to be. And make sure that you go through all these processes the way they are asking you to go through it, and follow the instruction as it is, as they are saying. Do not need to make out of anything, do not need to be somewhere, do not need to be the best in any situation. Just follow the instruction as it is. And if you are feeling vulnerable, if you are feeling stretched, if any feeling that is happening within you which is not normal, I would say this is the best thing that can happen to you. If you are feeling settled, then probably you are not in the right place, because this place is not for the settled people. Settled people means it's a dead life, and this is not preparation for a dead life. This is preparation for an exuberant and an exciting life. So it is best that you are stretched and all these things are happening to you. Only thing is how you are dealing with it and how you are managing it. If you can just do that one thing well, manage this one well, keep it balanced in any situation, then I think everything will unfold to good towards the end. As I mentioned, even I am not perfect in these situations. I do also feel vulnerable sometimes, but in those situations I just hold tight and I just be conscious in those situations. I just let that moment pass, and once that moment pass, I feel much empowered than before, because when similar situation comes, I know that I can easily handle all these things. So despite of a lot of things goes wrong in my life also, I can manage them quite well, and that is why I feel that I'm growing much faster than I could have grown out in the outside world. So that is how I feel like Sadhanapada, or becoming in the ashram, being in the ashram, helps me a lot in managing myself to maintain my stability, maintain my balance. So that is what I wanted to share with you in this particular video. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.